Someone cuts you off in traffic. A coworker takes credit for your idea. Your friend cancels plans last minute again. You feel that heat rising in your chest, that urge to snap back, to let them know exactly how you feel. But what if I told you that reaction, that anger, is a choice you're making, not them, you? Most people hand over control of their emotions like loose change, never realizing they're giving strangers and frustrations the keys to their inner peace. The Stoics understood something profound. External events can't touch you unless you let them. Your mind is a fortress, and anger is just you opening the gates. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover why you get bothered so easily and how to stop it completely. This isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing matters. It's about something far more powerful. Genuine indifference to things that don't deserve your energy. Let's start with the hardest truth. When someone ruins your day, they're not actually doing anything to you. You're doing it to yourself. Think about it. Two people experience the same rude comment. One spirals into anger for hours. The other shrugs and moves on. Same comment, different reactions. The difference isn't the words, it's the permission granted. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who could have executed anyone who annoyed him, chose instead to write, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." He wasn't speaking theoretically. He was surrounded by betrayal, war, and incompetence daily. Yet he remained unmoved. Why? Because he understood that reacting to every provocation is exhausting and pointless. Your emotional reactions follow a pattern you've trained into yourself. Someone disrespects you and automatically your mind reaches for anger. It's become a reflex. But here's what nobody tells you. Reflexes can be retrained. You've conditioned yourself to be bothered. You can condition yourself to remain calm. Consider this scenario. You're at a coffee shop and someone bumps into you, spilling your drink everywhere. They don't apologize, they just walk away. You have maybe 3 seconds before your emotional response locks in. In those 3 seconds, your mind is choosing a narrative. How dare they? They're so rude. They did this on purpose. My day is ruined. But what if you chose differently? They're clearly distracted. Maybe they're having a terrible day. This is just coffee. Same event, entirely different emotional outcome. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. You don't have to agree with the negative interpretation your mind offers first. Most anger comes from unmet expectations. You expect people to be considerate, to be fair, to think like you do. These expectations are chains you've wrapped around your own peace. Every time reality doesn't match your script, you suffer. Not because of what happened, but because you demanded it happen differently. Epictetus was born a slave. He had every reason to be bitter, angry, consumed by resentment. Instead, he taught that freedom isn't about your circumstances, it's about your response to them. He'd say, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Revolutionary then. Still revolutionary now. Here's something you need to understand about people who bother you. They're not thinking about you nearly as much as you're thinking about them. That person who cut you off in traffic, they forgot about it 5 seconds later. They're not sitting at home plotting to ruin your day, but you might spend an hour replaying it, building resentment, imagining what you should have said. Who's really suffering here? The paradox is this: the more you care about being unbothered, the more bothered you'll be. It becomes another expectation to fail at. True indifference isn't a goal you chase. It's a byproduct of understanding that most things simply aren't personal. They're not about you at all. Let's talk about why silence is your most underrated weapon. When someone says something meant to provoke you, they're waiting for your reaction. That's the whole point. Your anger is their payoff. By staying silent, you're not being weak. You're refusing to participate in their game. You're denying them the reaction they're fishing for. Silence creates space. In that space, you can observe what's actually happening rather than getting swept up in it. You'll notice that most provocations are tests. People test boundaries. They test your stability. When you don't react, you pass. When you explode, you fail, and they've learned they can control you. But here's where it gets interesting. Staying calm doesn't mean you don't act. It means you act from clarity instead of emotion. There's a massive difference between responding and reacting. Reacting is automatic, emotional, often regrettable. Responding is intentional, measured, effective. Imagine someone insults you publicly. Reacting means insulting them back, escalating, making a scene. Responding means pausing, assessing whether this person's opinion matters, and either addressing it calmly or ignoring it entirely. One path leads to chaos, the other leads to respect. The Stoics practiced something called negative visualization. They'd imagine the worst possible scenarios regularly. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. When you've mentally rehearsed how you'll stay calm during a crisis, the actual crisis loses its power. It's no longer shocking, it's just Tuesday, so when that coworker undermines you, or your partner says something hurtful, or a stranger is inexplicably rude, you've already decided who you'll be in that moment. You've already chosen calm. The situation doesn't get to choose for you. Now you might be thinking, this sounds cold, detached, like you're becoming emotionally numb. That's not what this is. You're not removing emotions, you're directing them toward things that actually matter. Your anger has value when used correctly. Wasting it on traffic and trivial slights is like burning money for warmth when you own a furnace. What most people call anger is often just wounded ego. Someone didn't recognize your worth, didn't treat you how you deserve, didn't follow the unwritten rules you expected them to know. But your worth isn't up for debate based on someone else's behavior. It's fixed, stable. Theirs to miss, not yours to prove. The next layer goes deeper than simple reactions into why you've built your identity around being affected by others in the first place. Most people never stop to ask why they're so affected by others. They just know they are. Someone criticizes them and they spiral. Someone ignores them and they feel worthless. But this isn't random. You learned this. Somewhere along the way, you absorbed the belief that external validation determines your value. That's the real problem. Think about how children operate. A toddler doesn't care if someone thinks their drawing is ugly. They're proud regardless. But then adults start reacting, praising, criticizing, comparing. Slowly, the child learns their worth is tied to outside approval. by adulthood, this wiring is so deep you don't even notice it running your life. Every emotional reaction to someone else's behavior is that old programming firing off. You're not weak for feeling affected. You're human, but you're also capable of rewiring this. The first step is catching yourself in the act. Next time someone's comment stings, pause. Don't push the feeling away. Examine it. Why does this hurt? What story am I telling myself about what this means? Usually you'll find an old belief lurking underneath. I'm not good enough. People don't respect me. I'm always overlooked. These beliefs are the real source of pain, not the comment itself. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most of your emotional suffering comes from trying to control things you can't. You can't control what people think of you. You can't control whether they like your ideas, respect your boundaries, or treat you fairly. Trying to control these things is like trying to stop rain by yelling at clouds, exhausting and pointless. What you can control is smaller but infinitely more powerful. Your thoughts, your actions, your standards for yourself. When you shift focus here, everything changes. You stop needing others to behave a certain way for you to feel okay. You're okay because you've decided to be, regardless of external chaos. Let's get practical. Someone disrespects you. Old you might ruminate for days, imagining confrontations, replaying the moment. New you asks different questions. Does this person's opinion actually matter to my life? Is there truth in what they said that I can learn from? If not, why am I giving this mental real estate? These questions diffuse the emotional charge almost instantly. But there's a trap here too. Some people take this philosophy and become emotionally unavailable. They confuse not being controlled by others with not caring about anyone. That's not strength, that's avoidance. The goal isn't to stop feeling, it's to stop being destabilized by feelings that don't serve you. You can care deeply about people and still not be destroyed when they disappoint you. You can value relationships without needing constant validation from them. The difference is attachment versus connection. Attachment says I need you to be a certain way for me to be okay. Connection says I value you, but my okayness isn't dependent on you. This distinction matters because most relationship conflict comes from misplaced attachment. You're angry at your partner not because of what they did, but because their behavior threatened your sense of security. You're hurt by your friend not because they were truly cruel, but because you attached your self-worth to their approval. When you untangle these, interactions become simpler, cleaner. Now let's address the elephant in the room. What about genuine mistreatment? Abuse, manipulation, betrayal? Does staying unbothered mean tolerating these? Absolutely not. There's a massive difference between emotional stability and doormat behavior. Staying calm doesn't mean accepting unacceptable behavior. It means addressing it from a place of strength rather than reactivity. When someone crosses a line, a reactive person explodes or crumbles. A grounded person sets a boundary, calmly, firmly, without needing the other person to understand or agree. This is what I will accept. This is what I won't. Your response is your information, not my responsibility. That's power. The reason most people struggle with boundaries isn't because they don't know how to set them. It's because they're terrified of the other person's reaction. What if they get angry? What if they leave? What if they think I'm difficult? These fears keep you trapped in situations that drain you. But here's the truth. Anyone who punishes you for having boundaries isn't someone whose presence improves your life. Their departure is a gift, not a loss. This brings us to something critical. Your peace isn't about eliminating all conflict. It's about knowing which battles matter. Some hills are worth dying on. Most aren't. Discernment is everything. The coworker who's mildly annoying, not worth your energy. The friend who repeatedly violates your trust, that's a conversation worth having or a relationship worth ending. The Stoics talked about the dichotomy of control, but there's a layer deeper. Even within what you control, you have to choose where to spend your effort. You control your response to everything, but responding to everything will destroy you. Strategic indifference is the skill nobody teaches you. Not caring about the right things is just as important as caring about the right things. Think of your emotional energy like a budget. You have a finite amount each day. Every time someone pulls a reaction from you, they're withdrawing from that account. Most people let anyone make withdrawals any time. Then they wonder why they're exhausted and bitter. Start treating your emotional energy like you treat your bank account. Not everyone gets access. Not every situation deserves a transaction. Here's what nobody tells you about becoming unbothered. It's not a destination. You don't arrive at some Zen mountaintop where nothing phases you ever again. You'll still have moments where someone gets under your skin. The difference is recovery time. How quickly can you return to center? That's the real measure of emotional mastery. The practice looks like this. Something happens that would have ruined your day 6 months ago. You feel the initial spike of irritation. But instead of riding that wave into a full emotional storm, you notice it. Name it. Let it pass. 5 minutes later, you're back. That's growth. Most people never get there because they confuse feeling with dwelling. You're allowed to feel annoyed when someone cuts you off in traffic. The problem is when you're still rehearsing your imaginary confrontation with them 3 hours later. The feeling was legitimate. The dwelling is self-inflicted damage. Here's something that changed everything for me. Emotions are like weather. They pass through. You don't control whether it rains, but you control whether you stand in the storm or find shelter. Anger shows up uninvited. So does hurt, frustration, disappointment. Your job isn't to prevent these feelings, it's to not let them set up camp in your mind. Think about how much mental real estate you've given to people who don't even think about you. That argument from 3 years ago that you still replay. The person who wronged you and moved on while you're still constructing revenge scenarios. They're living rent-free in your head, and the only person suffering from their presence is you. Eviction is simple but not easy. Every time you catch yourself ruminating, you make a choice. You can continue the mental loop or you can redirect. Not suppress. Redirect. There's a difference. Suppression is shoving the feeling down and pretending it doesn't exist. Redirection is acknowledging it and choosing not to feed it. I see you, anger. I understand why you're here. But I'm not giving you the afternoon. This is where most self-help advice falls apart. It tells you to just let go as if emotional release is a light switch. It's not. It's a muscle you build through repetition. The first 50 times someone triggers you, you'll probably react. The next 50, you'll catch yourself mid-reaction. Eventually, the gap between trigger and reaction becomes wide enough that you can choose something different. Let me give you something practical. When you feel that familiar heat rising, that tightness in your chest that signals you're about to lose it, do this. Physical reset. Drink cold water. Feel your feet on the ground. Count backward from 10. Sounds basic because it is. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between life-threatening danger and someone being rude to you. It just knows threat. These simple actions signal to your body that you're safe, which gives your rational mind a chance to catch up. Now, what about the people who seem determined to make your life difficult? The ones who don't just trigger you accidentally, but appear to target you specifically. This is where most people get trapped. They think the solution is to outsmart, outmaneuver, or outlast the difficult person. Wrong game. Difficult people are often dealing with their own chaos. Their behavior toward you is overflow from their internal mess. Understanding this doesn't excuse them, but it does free you. You stop taking their actions personally because you realize it was never actually about you. They would have done this to whoever was standing in your position. There's someone in your life right now who consistently drains you. You know who they are. Every interaction leaves you exhausted, frustrated, or questioning yourself. You've tried being patient. You've tried being kind. You've tried setting boundaries. Nothing changes. Here's what you haven't tried: accepting that they are who they are and your continued engagement is optional. This is uncomfortable because we're taught that cutting people off is cruel. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's self-preservation. The question isn't whether they're a bad person. The question is whether their presence in your life makes you better or worse. If the answer is consistently worse and they're unwilling to change, you already know what needs to happen. Guilt will show up. It'll tell you that you're abandoning them, that you're being selfish, that maybe if you just tried harder. This is where you have to trust your past data. How many times have you tried? What were the results? If you've given someone 20 chances and they've used all 20 to hurt you, chance 21 won't be different. You're not giving up on them, you're choosing yourself. The hardest part of protecting your peace is that it requires you to disappoint people. Your boss wants you available at all hours. Your friend expects you to drop everything when they're in crisis, even though they never reciprocate. Your family thinks your boundaries are rejection. They're wrong, but they'll make you feel wrong. This is the test. Can you hold your ground when the people you care about pressure you to abandon yourself? Most people fail here. They'd rather be uncomfortable than deal with someone else's disappointment. So they say yes when they mean no. They tolerate what depletes them. They sacrifice their peace to keep the peace. Then they wonder why they feel hollow. True peace isn't comfortable, it's controversial. It requires you to value your internal state more than external approval. That's not natural for most of us. We're wired for belonging. But belonging at the cost of yourself isn't belonging. It's erasure. So here's where we are. You understand that your reactions are yours. You know that other people's behavior says more about them than you. You've started building the muscle of emotional regulation. But knowledge without application is just entertainment. Application starts with one uncomfortable truth. Your current life is the sum of your past applications. Everything you tolerate, everything you avoid, every boundary you didn't set, it all compounds. You're living in the result of 1,000 small choices to prioritize comfort over clarity. That changes now. Start with the smallest circle. Your morning. Not the Instagram version where you wake at 5, meditate, journal, and drink lemon water. Your actual morning. What's the first thing you do when you open your eyes? If it's reaching for your phone, you've already lost. You've handed the first moments of your consciousness to algorithms designed to agitate you. News that enrages, messages that demand, content that compares. You're filling your mind with chaos before you've even left bed. Then you wonder why you feel reactive all day. Protect the first hour, not the first 5 minutes. The first hour, no phone, no email, no demands from the outside world. This isn't about productivity, it's about sovereignty. That hour is yours. Use it to remember who you are before the world tells you who you need to be. Read something that expands you. Sit in silence. Move your body. Write 3 thoughts. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is that you do it for yourself, not in response to someone else. Now let's talk about the people who will test this immediately. They're used to instant access. When you don't respond to their 3 a.m. text or morning email, they'll escalate. They'll call it urgent. They'll question your commitment. They'll make you feel like you're failing them. You're not failing them. You're succeeding at yourself. Their emergency is not your urgency. That sentence will save your life if you let it. Most crises aren't crises. They're just someone else's poor planning or emotional dumping dressed up as importance. You can care about people without carrying their chaos. Here's what nobody tells you about setting boundaries. The first time is excruciating. The 10th time is uncomfortable. The 100th time is automatic. You have to build the tolerance. Every time you hold a boundary and survive the discomfort, you're training your nervous system that you're safe even when people are upset with you. That's the real work. Not the boundary itself, but rewiring the belief that other people's disappointment is dangerous. Let's get specific. You have a coworker who dumps their work on you at 4:55 p.m. every Friday. They know you won't say no. They're right. Until now. Next Friday, when they appear with that look of manufactured helplessness, you're going to say, I can't take that on right now. Not I'm sorry, not maybe, not let me see what I can do. Just a clear, calm statement of fact. They'll push back. They always do. They'll explain why it's urgent, why you're the only one who can help, why it'll only take a minute. None of that is your problem. Repeat the boundary. I understand, and I still can't take that on right now. Then stop talking. The person who speaks next loses. Silence is your weapon here. They'll either accept it or they won't, but either way, you've drawn the line. Your family is harder. They have decades of patterns to weaponize. They know exactly which guilt buttons to push because they installed them. When you start changing, they'll accuse you of changing like it's a crime. You're different now. You're not the person we knew. Good. The person they knew was exhausted. The person they knew said yes to everything and meant no to themselves. Growth looks like betrayal to people who benefit from your stagnation. This doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you stop betraying yourself to prove that love. You can show up for people without showing up for their dysfunction. You can support someone's healing without funding their avoidance. The difference is in your response. When they try to pull you into old patterns, drama, crisis, obligation, you stay centered. You acknowledge without absorbing. I hear that you're struggling. What are you going to do about it? Not what are we going to do? What are you? You're not the solution to their problems. You're a person they're in relationship with. Some relationships won't survive this shift. That's not failure. That's data. If a relationship only works when you're diminished, it was never serving you, it was using you. Letting it end isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're making space for connections built on mutuality instead of martyrdom. Now we get to the part that scares everyone. What if you set all these boundaries, protect all this peace, and you end up alone? What if the price of choosing yourself is isolation? Two things. First, you're already alone when you're surrounded by people who don't see you. Second, the loneliness of integrity is temporary. The loneliness of self-abandonment is permanent. When you stop contorting yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you, you create room for what actually belongs. Better people, deeper connections, relationships where you can breathe. But you have to survive the gap between letting go and what comes next. That gap is where most people turn back. They panic. They convince themselves that bad company is better than no company. They reopen doors they spent years closing. Don't. The gap is not emptiness, it's recalibration. Your body knows the difference between rest and retreat. Rest refills you. Retreat depletes you differently. When you're genuinely resting, there's no guilt attached. You're not checking your phone every 3 minutes waiting for someone to need you. You're not bracing for the next demand. You're present in your own life, maybe for the first time in years. That feeling, that radical presence, is what you're protecting when you hold boundaries. It's not selfish, it's survival. Here's what nobody tells you about choosing yourself. It gets easier and harder at the same time. Easier because each time you honor a boundary, you're building evidence that you can trust yourself. Harder because you start seeing clearly how much you were tolerating before. The bar you were limbo dancing under becomes visible, and you realize how low you'd set it. You can't unsee it. Every old pattern becomes obvious. Every manipulation becomes transparent. You'll wonder how you ever fell for it. People will test your new boundaries like they're trying to find a crack in armor. They'll push gently at first. They'll joke about how serious you've gotten, how you've changed, how you used to be more fun. Fun in this context means pliable. It means available for their convenience, regardless of your capacity. When gentle pushing doesn't work, they escalate. They bring up old favors you owe them, promises you supposedly made, ways you've disappointed them. This is calculated. They're trying to trigger your guilt response to pull you back into the dynamic where their comfort matters more than your sanity. Stand there anyway. Let them be uncomfortable with your no. Their discomfort is not your emergency. You've spent years managing everyone else's feelings. They can manage their own for once. The relationship might change. It probably will. But if the only version of you they can tolerate is the one that abandons itself for them, that's not a relationship worth preserving. That's a hostage situation with better lighting. Some people will surprise you, though. The ones you expected to disappear will lean in. They'll say, "I've been waiting for you to do this." They saw you shrinking and didn't know how to tell you. When you start taking up your actual space, they'll meet you there. These are your people. Not the ones who needed you small, but the ones who can handle you whole. They don't disappear when you stop performing. They show up differently because you're finally giving them something real to show up for. You'll also find that strangers become less threatening. When you're not constantly scanning for approval, rejection loses its teeth. Someone doesn't like you? Okay. Someone misunderstands your intentions? That's their interpretation, not your truth. You stop needing everyone to get it because you get it. Your worth isn't up for a vote. This shift changes how you move through the world. You make eye contact differently. You speak up in meetings. You walk into rooms like you belong there because you've stopped asking permission to exist. But let's address the fear underneath all of this. What if I become cold? What if protecting my peace turns me into someone harsh, someone who doesn't care? Valid question. Wrong conclusion. Boundaries don't make you cold. They make you clear. There's a difference between shutting down and standing firm. Shutting down is reactive, built from exhaustion and resentment. Standing firm is intentional, built from self-respect and clarity. You can be kind and boundaried. You can be compassionate and unavailable. These aren't contradictions, they're maturity. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Compassion without limits becomes codependence. You're not helping anyone by setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. You're just teaching them that your well-being is negotiable, that your needs come last, that love means erasure. That's not love. That's a transaction where you always lose. So what does this actually look like in practice? You stop explaining yourself into the ground. When you say no, you say it once. You don't follow it with 17 reasons why. Don't pad it with apologies. Don't leave room for negotiation. No is a complete sentence. You'll feel rude at first. That's conditioning. You've been taught that taking up space requires justification. It doesn't. Your needs are not an imposition. They're information. You also stop participating in conversations that drain you. Someone starts complaining about the same problem for the 40th time with no intention of changing anything. You can exit that. I've got to go. You don't owe them your mental bandwidth just because they're broadcasting their misery. Compassion doesn't mean becoming a dumping ground. You can care about someone's struggle without carrying it for them. It said. The hardest part isn't setting the boundaries, it's maintaining them when someone you love is hurt by them. When they say you've changed, you're not there for me anymore, you've become selfish. That lands differently coming from someone whose opinion you value. You'll want to cave. You'll want to prove you're still the person they remember, still generous, still giving, still safe to exploit. Don't. Their hurt doesn't obligate your return to old patterns. Validate the feeling without abandoning the boundary. I understand this feels different, and I'm still not available for that. You're not responsible for their adjustment period. You're responsible for your integrity. They'll either adapt or they won't. Both outcomes teach you something essential about who they are and what they actually valued in your connection. The ones who stay, who respect the new terms, who meet you as an equal instead of a resource. Those relationships deepen. They become reciprocal, sustainable, real. This is what the other side of boundaries looks like. Not isolation, not coldness, not cruelty. Just you fully present in your own life, surrounded by people who can handle your wholeness. That's not loneliness, that's liberation. You've spent years believing that other people had the power to ruin your day. Control your emotions, make you small. They never did. You gave them that power every time you reacted, every time you let their chaos become yours, every time you prioritized their comfort over your peace. That ends now. Not because you've become cold or detached, but because you finally understand that your emotional state is yours to protect. The traffic, the criticism, the disappointment, none of it gets to decide who you are. You do. Every morning you wake up, you're choosing, react or respond, shrink or stand, give your power away or keep it. The Stoics knew this thousands of years ago, and it's still true now. Your mind is the only territory you truly control. Guard it. When someone tries to pull you into their storm, you can stay grounded. When life throws chaos at you, you can remain unmoved. Not because nothing touches you, but because you've decided what gets access and what doesn't. That's not indifference, that's mastery. So the next time someone tries to bother you, remember, they're testing a door that's no longer open. Your peace isn't up for negotiation anymore.